President Barack Obama's planned Obama Center is still years from opening. There hasn't even been an official groundbreaking yet, but a new report suggests it may already be having an effect on the surrounding neighborhoods. Chicago Tonight's Amanda Vinicky is here with more. Amanda, what does this report show?
Well, Brandis, it shows in short that in those surrounding areas, housing costs are rising, and that could give credence to those who have feared ever since Obama announced that he had chosen Jackson Park to host his center, that it would lead to residents getting pushed out.
This report is just gravy on the potatoes. This is our lived experience. We already know that the displacement is happening.
The report broadly looked at communities within a 2-mile radius of the Obama Center, including Greater Grand Crossing, Hyde Park, South Shore, Washington Park, and Woodlawn. It showed that many of the area's current renters have incomes under $20,000 and are already spending too high a percentage of that income on rent. Also, that eviction rates are among the highest in Chicago. In South Shore, evictions average $1,800 a year. As for homeowners, most have annual income of $75,000. UIC urban planning professor Janet Smith says they're fine in that regard, but there is still a concern.
But what we're concerned about is, while many of them can afford their housing now, what we found in the data is that housing prices are going up, and maybe at a faster rate, it looks like in the last few years, than the city of Chicago. So I may want to live in that neighborhood and stay in that neighborhood, but if my housing value goes up, that means my taxes go up, and can they stay?
And so, Amanda, we know that generally we know what the data says. Now what?
Well, Alderman Taylor represents the area, and in July she sponsored an ordinance in the city council that seeks to guarantee her constituents won't be displaced.
Because this is about the people who actually live there being able to stay. That's what this is about to us. We keep trying to make it like that this is just protecting low income and working families. This is everybody who currently lives in this community being able to stay and enjoy the OPC.
That housing ordinance would require 30% of all new housing in the 2-mile area surrounding the Obama Center be dedicated to affordable housing. Alderwoman Taylor says that leaves plenty for housing developers to profit from.
Just think about this, we're only asking for 30%. 70% will still be market rent. Do we know what market rent is? We got a home in Woodlawn that's selling for $700,000. Nobody could afford that right now, the median income is $24,000. So tell me what is morally right?
But real estate developer Gian Foreman says developers have no choice but to consider, will they want to invest in an area with a 30% requirement or somewhere else where it's 10%? He says the South Side doesn't need to put up any additional barriers to development.
What we don't want to do is, while we have momentum on our side, put something in place that artificially makes it more difficult to bring the needed investment that we want in the community, because housing is one part of the ecosystem, right? There's jobs that go along with it. There's commercial corridor investments that go along with it, the improvements in school and safety. And so I think we have to really look at it all as an ecosystem.
Foreman says, yes, people will be displaced, but not just because of the Obama Center. He says people, like his grandmother, had worked for years and years to get to the point where their investments in the community paid off, and that is an opportunity.
At a time when we're losing black population, let's set a goal. How do we attract black families to this community? How do we make sure that home ownership is an important part of what happens in this community? How do we take advantage of the visitors that are going to come to this community so we can start new businesses and grow those businesses, and not just think about providing housing for low-income families, but let's think about mobility. Let's think about how do we move those families from needing low-income housing to being able to someone who actually can create the community that they want to create. So I'm excited.
So Amanda, then what is the future of the Obama Center housing ordinance?
Well, Alderwoman Taylor says she's hoping to pass that ordinance next month. Backers are, though, looking for support from Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and that may prove crucial. They don't have it. In a statement, her office says Lightfoot is committed to ensuring all voices are heard. She is hosting community forums and working on a framework to address gentrification concerns, but no endorsement of that ordinance. No endorsement either from the Obama Foundation, which in a statement said that the foundation appreciates community organizers' work, and we want neighbors who've called this community home for decades to remain on the South Side as long as they wish.
Amanda, thank you.